Welcome back to another episode of Passion Unscripted. And today we have the topic bedroom blues, unpacking intimacy issues. But before that, let's just introduce each other if somebody doesn't know us yet. My name is Irina Portnova, and I'm a manifestation coach. And I'm here just to be the voice of the audience and to explore and open my mind for exploring the intimacy and how it's actually affect our life in general. And Dina, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody who's listening or watching us. My name is Dina Alexander, and I am a personal coach, a relationship coach, and a sex coach. And it's really needed. That's my experience. Because it's either a taboo or people are very concerned of what others would say of what is happening in their bedroom, or telling everybody that nothing is happening in their bedroom. That's also a concern. So today I love the topic that you suggested, and because today I was like all over the place, and I didn't have that inspiration, but I love the topic. So this is a daily issue for everybody. That rarely you have that synchronicity, that you don't need to talk, you don't need to communicate the concerns that you have in your bedroom. That's why communication is a must in the bedroom. Okay. I want to bring some concerns that comes up regularly. Mismatched sexual desires. That is that's a thing that we need to stay on it a couple of minutes longer, because the issue is, Lena, that a lot of us does not know how to cultivate that desire, or it's there only at the beginning of the relationship. We don't know how to keep it after 20 years, 15 years. That's a very it's a problem. It's an issue. So I do teach my clients that if you service your car certain mileage, you need to service your relationship also. And by servicing the relationship, I mean really investing in new things to do. And that's why I do share, as a sex coach, a lot of new ideas. And maybe the couple doesn't want all of them, but maybe one or two will stick to their bedroom. And when one of the couples, one of them that have that desire, and it becomes more, and the other, the libido or the desire diminishes, that brings frustration, stress on everything in the house. Everything has physical stress. The dynamics in the house will lower. You will not be synchronized anymore. And usually you have painful intercourse. One of them has pain in during intercourse, because the desire is not at the peak. So you listening to me talking like this, anything comes up?
You know what, Dina? Very honest. What comes on? It's the luckiest couple who had the spark, the luckiest couple who had it for so many years and lost it. What about when couple are living the entire life and they are not expressing their desires and they are not satisfied in bed from day one? That's another box, Pandora box, to be opened, because there are so many couples. Let's face it, not everybody is so open and willing to communicate and a lot of people just do it as do it without putting too much, into that, right? And people do not even know their desires, and they do not express their desires. So I think it's even bigger issue as opposed to just, like losing that spark.
It's good because that's why I told you at the beginning. I think this mismatched sexual desire is one of them that we need to talk a little bit more on, because couples come to me and they ask me, Dina, why isn't things like before when we started? This is what you need to put attention on. The desire needs to be in its peak. If it diminishes a little bit, you need to work on it immediately. Or regularly, you need to do things to keep that up. So I'm going to take number 2 on my list. No time for sex, Irina. Can you imagine that? That some of them do tell me, hey, this week I do give homeworks, and couples that are longer than 10 years and they don't have as many sex as before, I do ask them to choose a date of the week, and that day it's sex, it's for sex. You plan it. For example, every Friday, sex in that house. So because they tell me they don't have time for sex. And if you are in a relationship, and I think that sex is a lubricant of life. After a good sex, you forget every little thing that happened, every little frustration of your partner. So you need to make time for sex. If you don't have time for sex, you need to be single. I'm very, very hard in that area. Very clear. You don't have time for sex, you need to be single. If you're sick, that's different. That's different. That's another topic. But no time, no. So does something come up?
Big time something come up. First of all, I cannot live by the calendar. When it comes to sex, it has to be spontaneous. So if you tell me there is no time for sex, it means people do not know how to connect on a spontaneous basis when, like that hormones kick in and you just, go and make this quickie, right? There is no such a thing, no time. And for me, no freaking schedule. It's not the work. It has to be something very natural. It has to be something that I'm excited about. I'm not going to be excited knowing that, okay, this is the day in my calendar. No freaking way.
True. Me too. However, some relationships do need that. Because if everybody was like me, or was like Irina in this world, it would be very boring. So we are all different. So some of us need that time in the calendar. And if you are hearing this and you resonate with what I'm telling you, so set that date. Okay? Medical illness, number 3. That isn't concerned in the bedroom. So if this is the case, I usually tell everybody, look, sex is healing. It's a healing energy. So what kind of illness do you have? Is it severe? Is it a headache? Is it diabetes? If it's those 2 things that I've just mentioned, you need to get more orgasms and check your sugar level before you get your orgasm and afterwards. If you have heart problems and your doctor is telling you it's okay, you can have sex, have a little bit more sex, more orgasms, because it will help you. And it's proven. So I can imagine if you are doing chemotherapy, and then you'll need to put some attention in taking time for yourself, and relax. And but you need to know what kind of illness you have, and maybe sex will help you. That's all what I'm going to say in this area. So what comes up in
Well,
you?
it doesn't come up anything what you covered, but it comes up for me that another issue that I wanted to bring is, like somebody who just became a recent mom, because I experienced it myself, right? Because when you are focused on that baby, when you have to wake up at night every an hour and a half when you're breastfeeding, the only thing you want just to have that sleep, because you are not receiving something that is natural to receive, right, for us to function normally. So obviously the sex goes like on the bottom of the list, right? And then it's for the man to understand and not get upset, but rather see how they can help, right? Maybe take over some night feedings with the bottle, the woman can actually pump the breast milk and put it in the in the fridge to see if like a man, because I never had that. I was the one to wake up every time.
Oh,
So the idea is that you have to see, and everybody has to kind of adjust to each other in
yes,
order to make it work. So if if one person feels like they are neglected, then they have to step up and say, hey, what is there that I can do in order to make it work?
yes. I love it what you just said. And I'm going to use that as, because I'm a mom also, and I was married during the period that my kids were very small, and I was breastfeeding, and I had a boy that wanted milk every time, so I gave him breast milk. And when I was like, I know I cannot have you on my breast today, or this time, my ex gave him from the just
From the
milk
bottle.
from
Hmm.
the heart. So he drank all of them, both of them. So
Hmm.
you can exchange that also. So you need to listen to your body. And if you have, you need, because I have a workshop called mommyhood, and it's true, the libido does go down, can go down. It's not with everybody the same. The libido can go down after birth, and some will not feel it, but some will, and it can be very stressful on the relationship. So I tell everybody, talk, communicate, talk and talk, make agreements every time, again and again. It's important. Another topic that is very important is pain during sex. And a lot of couples like to experience dominator and submission um, feeling. And but pain shouldn't be something that you need to endure because your partner wants it, likes it. Pain can be pleasant, and maybe it's contradictive, but it is like that. I cannot explain it otherwise. Pain can be pleasant, but if it's not pleasant, then it's pain and you need to discontinue. um, that's how I can describe it as much as possible. So before going to the next one, what comes up?
What comes up? Not everybody likes pain. So like if one person can tolerate it because it like it actually makes them excited. And yes, I agree with you, there is like the pain that can make it pleasant, but there are people who do not want to tolerate it, and it's totally fine. So
Yes,
everybody has to see what works for them. That's
yes,
why you have to know yourself. That's why you have to explore yourself.
yes. Another thing is, when one of the partners had an affair, that's really an issue that can become a very draining issue in your relationship, and during in your bedroom, on your bed, because nothing will work. The woman could remain dry, and the man could remain not erected because of that affair. So if you are having that problem, I do recommend have a third person. Have a third person and professional. Please do not go to the neighbors or to the aunts or good friends, because they are, that's why I mentioned them, neighbors, aunts, good friends, because that's their profession. You need to hire a relationship coach or therapist that can help you if you want to keep your investment, and that is your house, your time invested, your kids, and everything. If you want to keep that, you need proper guidance, and that's with a professional. Okay. So anything comes up, Irina?
No, not for this. I have something else that comes up.
Maybe during this, for me, what is very, very put a stress in my bedroom, because every one of us is different, is lack of emotional intimacy, and that makes that sexual experience like you are with a vibrator if there is no emotions in it. For example, some people do tell me they have a fuck body. There is always an emotion in it. It cannot be a fuck body without emotions. What do you think?
I do not know. So I do not think, I have something on my mind that I wanted to say before I forget. So when we talk about like different things, what comes to my mind, like when we talk about women, right? We were mentioning about postpartum, like once they had delivered the baby, their sex needs are changing and their libido goes down. Same thing for the guys when they have experienced the stress. It could be financial stress or stress at work. I think this is like the most important thing. That's something that blocks them completely. Like they are not even willing to go into the intimacy because they are like so in their heads, focused on what's going on, processing the stress, maybe at work, maybe some like situations that they have to go through. Finances, I would say, like for men is number one for the stress, and something that really blocks their intimacy.
Yes. And you know what, those issues that you mentioned not only blocks your intimacy in the bedroom, but your energy, your creative energy, your sexual energy, it blocks everything. So it's very important for I think people to live aware of what you're doing. I like that. I like this topic, Irina. I like it. So I can continue.
Yeah, let's do that. So yeah, because you worked with people, so like what are the issues.
Sexual addiction is one. It comes up in 3 of my clients here at the moment. Sexual addiction, and I'm calling it addiction because if you go and Google what is sexual addiction, it is something that when you have so much sex and it really, really burdens your lifestyle. So you can't work, you can't eat, it's only then it becomes an addiction. But I think even though it doesn't touch that area, but if you are trying to fill a void every time outside of your bedroom, then it's an addiction. For me, my logic is telling me it's an addiction to something out there. And you need, for me, what I think I do, I like how Tantra explains it. If you are searching for things out of your bed, it's because you never experienced the seventh heaven in you with someone. And that's why your soul is looking for that thing outside. While it's inside, you need to build it. You need to tap into it, and you need to learn some techniques to tap into it. That's all. Yeah, I know this is where you can add more. So what comes up when
What comes up? First of all, can you tell more about addiction, because it just didn't land for me.
addiction, when they, if you Google addiction, sexual addiction is where um you have so much, you want so many sex outside of your bed, and it burdens your finances, your work, your health, everything deteriorates because of that addiction, because
Do you mean
you,
like having multiple partners at the
not
same time?
exactly, not exactly, because it doesn't say that you're addicted, but that addiction to sex, it doesn't matter, you want continuously, you want it, but it burdens, it it brings destruction, it destroys your life, just like cocaine or food addiction, it destroys your life. However, I don't think that is what sexual addiction is. Me personally, I think sexual addiction is where you, when you are looking outside of your bedroom for something, and while you didn't experience it in you first, the seventh heaven that Tantra talks about. That's for me. When you are looking for something out of your bedroom, it's because you can't cultivate it and you have never experienced it in your bedroom. Because if you've experienced it in your bedroom, you would never go outside. You understand?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Maybe it's gonna land at some point, but for now, I just like okay. To me, sex addiction is like the person who always wants sex. That's what, in my interpretation, is sex addictions. Other than that, I cannot like really relate to whatever you're describing. Just to put it, like into the picture, but like maybe more examples.
No, I don't think. I think if you are sexual healthy, you always want sex. But
Yeah, but
if you,
what does define the sexual addiction versus a want to have sex all the time? So
when
yeah, tell the difference.
when you have that, you want that sex all the time, and it disrupts your normal lifestyle, then it becomes an addiction. Because if you want sex every time and you can contain it and wait until you're at home with your spouse, that's good, that's healthy. But if you cannot contain it, you need it right, and it is disrupt your work, your finance, because you need to go out and get that sex, that is addiction.
But then, see, like that's why I was asking to you, like, go out, meaning what? If you are having the partner that you can have it at home, and then what do you mean go out? Like, define what does it mean? Like, if you really desire just the same partner because you're just craving the sex, it's one thing. But if you are like addicted and you just go and get it anywhere, that's a different story.
No, it can be a fetish. Maybe you have an open relationship, it's okay.
Yeah, but then it's a different thing. It's an open
It's a
relationship.
different thing,
So it's,
yes.
yes.
It's a
So
different thing.
it's just, like these, like things have to be put in perspective, because it's difficult to kind of grasp it. And I agree, when this is when you have something on your mind, then your mind is distracted and you can't focus on something that you want to focus. If something, whether this is sex or any other things, sometimes we are like, overwhelmed with something. And I believe that sex also can be the overwhelming feeling if this is on your mind, right? So I think, unless this problem is taken care of, we cannot focus on something else. That's
True,
the way I look at it. Hmm.
true. I totally agree. If it disrupts your normal lifestyle, it is an addiction, and you need to search help.
Yes.
So I think the last thing that comes up and very regular in this period of time is the psychological factors, which is anxiety, depression, trauma, Negative body image comes a lot. Those things you need, those are things that you need to work on. These are shadow works. So it shouldn't be an issue in your bedroom. You just need to look for a professional. There are so much information on the internet that you can help you out if you have some of these problems.
You know what comes to me before we wrap it up? What comes to me? Communication. When people do not know how to communicate in bed, and sometimes when people like in their life they have the conflicts and everything. I know sometimes it spice up the intimacy, but sometimes it could go the other way around. When there is like that misunderstanding, people just arguing, then it's like it decreases the intimacy, because people do not want, especially I think women do not want. I feel men are more open to that, but women are like, this is not something that, like, because we cannot resolve something in our communication, in our relationship. I do not want to, like, bring it into the intimacy because I feel hurt or I feel upset. Like this, there is a difference between when women manipulate with sex and do not do it with their man because they want to punish them or they want to teach them the lesson. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like when there is that argument and when the woman feels disrespected, she is not gonna be willing to. I mean, I know for myself, I would be like completely repellent.
Yeah, but some use the sex to wake up. So we are all different. We are all different. Yeah. So that's why I like it, because look, I am totally different than you, and we when you talk, that's why I'm asking also. When you talk, things come up because I don't see it like you. So out there, what we are saying, maybe if you feel like you think differently, put your comment
absolutely
below, and then we'll
participate
talk more about it. So
yes
that's
yes
nice.
Awesome, Dina. Thank you so much. That was so informative. It was amazing. And we would love to hear from you. As we mentioned, just, like put something in the comments. What is your issue in the intimacy? And see if there is any other topic you want us to touch on. And we'll see everybody on the next episode next week. Have a beautiful week.